Hi guys! Today I wanted to show you how to make an easy cardboard clay for all of your crafting or Halloween projects. So first off, let's talk material. As the name suggests, you will need some cardboard to start. I always use egg cartons, but the same material can also be found in packaging, like when you buy a TV or some household appliance. So maybe you want to just stop by your local tech store and ask them if you cannot find these kind of cartons. So these always come with a sticker, so you can just peel it off. Okay, so this will be fine. Those little pieces here, they won't do us any harm. Just what you want to take off is that shiny surface, because this is varnish and we don't want it in our clay. Now that we have the carton ready, you will have to take it apart. I always like to cut out these printed parts, because I don't want any ink in the clay as well. Alright, so here's your first option. You can, if you want to, just tear this up into small pieces like this, put it in water and leave it to soak. But if you use this size, you'll have to rinse the water maybe 2 or 3 times, and this can be pretty time consuming. So if you want to save time later, what you can do now is cut it small. So here's what I do while I watch TV. Just cut tiny pieces. Doesn't have to be neat or anything, doesn't have to be the same size, just small little things like this. Depending on your project and how much clay you need, you can also use a hand cutting machine to cut up all the cardboard. I have one upstairs, so I'll just spend my evenings doing this, just making a whole bunch of it and storing it. So now we have our cardboard cut up. Depending on how much cardboard clay you want to make, you will need a container to put it in with water. So it needs to be big enough to take all of your cardboard and then about double as much water. So I usually just have like an old bucket. This is an old popcorn bucket that we wanted to throw out. Then you will also need something to strain your cardboard with. This is a very disgusting strainer that I saved from the trash. It's fine to just put the cardboard in, you don't need a brand new one. Then you're gonna need something to mix the cardboard. You can use a whisk. I use this kind of thing that I don't know the English word of. Maybe it's gonna be on the bottom of the screen. You're gonna need another plastic container. So this is like an ice cream box. You can reuse the containers to mix the clay. I wouldn't suggest using the same one for the water and the mixing, because the mixing works with glue and you don't want to have this here and mix with the water and create like some kind of weird sludge. So 1 container water, 1 container glue. Now the important part, that's the glue you're gonna need, is PVA glue. So for the US market this would be Elmer's glue. For our German, Austrian people it's the Ponal. I don't know if it makes any difference which kind you get, because I know you have like different kinds. And in addition to everything, you will also need hot water. This is a kettle where you just boil your water. You can also boil it on a stove if you don't have a kettle. In any case, it has to be hot water to break down this cardboard. It shouldn't still be boiling when you put it in here, obviously, because I'm thinking you will use a plastic container too, and we don't want to melt anything. So just leave it out for a few seconds after it's boiled, and then you can throw it all in here. And as I said, you will need double the amount of water to your cardboard. So let's say this much. This is about like 1.5 egg cartons worth of cardboard. And you can immediately give it a stir just to have everything soaking up nicely. This is why it's much easier to cut strips or small pieces instead of just leaving these big ripped pieces, because the smaller pieces just break down immediately, which saves you a lot of time. So once you deem your cardboard mixture ready for however long you let it sit, so a minimum of 2 hours, a maximum of 2 days, because then again it will smell, you can pour it into a strainer to get all the water out. So the bucket has been standing here for 24 hours and you can see it's quite broken down already. So now it's time to strain the cardboard. It's still not looking good. Nothing about the process is really looking good except for the end result. To have some kitchen towels on hand. Those can be the disposable ones, or if you're about reusing stuff, then you can also use a cloth one. Maybe you want to use something old, because I'm pretty sure cloth would stain over time from the cardboard. And what you want to do is just grab a handful of the stuff in the strainer and squeeze as much water out with your hands as you possibly can. Pieces that you've squeezed already you can put on the towel and just have it soak up some more extra moisture. And don't just pour away this water, you want to keep the stuff that's in there as well, so the very tiny broken down pieces of cardboard, because this stuff in here will help you keep your clay together. So just make sure to put your strainer over the drain when you pour this away. So once you have everything on your towel, put another one on top and just squeeze it. As you can see, the cardboard is mashed flat now. We cannot use it this way, so you will have to break it up into small pieces. So take your second plastic container and just crumble it in. The smaller the pieces, the better it's going to combine with the glue. You should have something that looks like this. Just small broken down pieces. It's still wet, like it isn't completely dry, but it's also not dripping wet. So I like to make a little dent in here, just for the glue to sit. How much glue you put in depends on what you want to do with it. So I've seen people use this stuff for making pavement or whatever, for dollhouses. Obviously for weapons or bigger projects you wouldn't need as much, so you can pour a little less glue. So you have a kind of thicker mixture that you can put on, you know, in big globs. I usually need it for smaller things. The biggest I've built with it is a mask. So of course I'm going to add some more glue. This this would be a good base consistency. So it is all together, you can push it into a big ball, but you cannot do fine molding yet. As you can see, it's still quite brittle. But it's going to be fine if you mix some more glue in, or if you use it for big projects. What I also like to do, wait, let me show you something. I have a mask here, I cannot show the full thing. I have a mask here that needs very fine molding, as you can see. For this one, what I like to do with the clay is I just keep it like this, wrap it up in plastic and keep it for another day. So just let it sit in plastic overnight, just like this, so everything combines nicely, which will end up being this stuff here. This is the one that's been sitting here for a bit, and this is the new one. And that's what we want to have if we want to make small details. So let me show you what I like to do for small details first. This can just sit here, nothing is gonna happen. I will pack it in plastic in a few minutes. So if I want to do small details, this is the clay that's been wrapped up for a day. So I just take a small piece out. Don't make too much of the detailed clay at first. It's just going to dry on the surface and then be of no use. So you need another flat plastic surface. And then of course your trusty glue. Don't put any water on this stuff. This is a lot of glue. I shouldn't have poured that much. Anyway, you can always adjust. You can always just put some more on here. Essentially what you want to have is a kind of paste. This is what you want to have if you are sculpting details. So as you can see, you can just spread it on your surface. And should you make too much or not use all of this, you can always put it into the pile before. So I'm not planning on using this anytime now. Nothing bad is gonna happen if you just combine these two. And you can reuse this plastic surface as well. When the glue has dried, you can just peel it off and then reuse the same thing. This is the lid of the bucket we used before. So if you don't use it, just smooth it back in here and then wrap it up again. Want to do detail work? You can use this one as it is. You will take your mold, whatever you've prepared, but you have to be aware that this stuff will stick to anything that's like paper. This doesn't really bother me because, as you can see, underneath there is cellophane. So when the whole mask is dry, I will just go in here, flip this up and cut the entire length of the foil and then just take it all off. So I can reuse this mold however many times I want. Alright guys, I will continue to work on this mask, and I hope you're all having fun with your personal projects. Let me know what you think of this video in the comments. You can also leave mask suggestions. I will continue working on suggested masks in 2021, because for this year all mask slots are filled already. So I hope you're looking forward to the new videos that are coming up. Thanks so much for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you next week. Bye! So you're still here, wondering why I'm doing another Legion mask, as it seems? Well, all fans of Dead by Daylight, and especially the fans of the Legion, should go over to my Instagram page. for whatever reason you cannot make this on your own, there is a little surprise for you in my stories. Check it out.